Hello, everyone. Well, there is so much to talk about these days. And as I was just reflecting on 2020, well, first of all, 2019 for many of us had enough traumas of its own. And so when we're thinking about 2020 and how it started, my goodness, we think about the wildfires in Australia, the wildlife, the property, and what those fires did to so many, right? We think about what happened with Kobe Bryant, his precious daughter, and all those beautiful family and friends, or like family, on that helicopter, and what happened to them. It affected the entire world. Then here comes COVID 19, this pandemic, something that we've never experienced before, quarantines, deaths, and the list kind of goes on there. Then the epidemic of oppression, police brutality, what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. Our hearts are grieving during this time. Every month, we've had something traumatic to experience, and it feels like it's still going on with the rage reactions, the anger, the looting, more violence, the protests, the peaceful protests. I can go on and on with a strong defense about how much these traumas have affected all of us these years. In addition to personal traumas, right? We have to consider that too, the things that we carry. So we just want to let you know that, again, we see you. We are grieving together. What has occurred this year has been universal. We've all been affected on some level, and it's been quite grievous. So this month is June, the month of June, considering PTSD, where we are, thinking about post-traumatic stress disorder and the traumas that sometimes are complex. It's evolved. That term has evolved to mean so many things, and it shows up very differently in each and every one of our lives. And so, first of all, during this time, what we know about trauma is that all we need is exposure. All we need is this exposure to actual or threatened death, serious injury, and oftentimes, unfortunately, sexual violence. So if we directly experienced it, we witnessed it in someone that we know, we saw it happen to someone. If we are exposed to the aversive details of the trauma over and over again, or, if we've seen it in someone that we care about, our family members, and the list kind of goes on there. But I just want to recommend to all of our viewers and those out there that during this time, if you are experiencing any thoughts that are distressing, if you are experiencing anxiety and anger, if you're experiencing irritability, your dreams are changing. You're dreaming about what you've been seeing on television. You're dreaming about events that have occurred to you personally. If you are more anxious, if you feel depressed, you know that you are more aware than usual. You're hypervigilant. Whatever you're experiencing now, and you see that there's been a change within yourself, we want to recommend that you seek help. Seek help. Call your primary physician if you have insurance. Let them know that you need to see a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, and you want to start that treatment as soon as possible, just to talk about it, right? Just to talk about what you're feeling. I also want to recommend you authentically share your feelings. I know that we're in a time where people are tired of talking about everything, but it's so important that you put language on the pain that you are feeling and experiencing. Speak authentically. So blog about it, vlog about it, journal about it. When you journal, there's no judgment. The paper will not judge you. And then I want you to fiercely protect your mental health as best as you know how. Now, I know that we are engaging in social media. I know we are reading everything that comes before us on Instagram or Facebook, right? And just text messages and YouTube video links, whatever. I want to recommend that you detox for a little while. I want to recommend that you step away from your devices and social media just to breathe, just to reconnect with yourself so that you are not overwhelmed with these traumatic images, these distressing images that are real that we're all experiencing. All right, so those are 3 things that you can do now to start. And once you are engaged in treatment, once you are engaged with that support, they'll be able to assess where you are. They'll be able to say, yeah, these are the symptoms, right? And then they will recommend trauma-informed care to be able to support you. Now, let me tell you, this is very complex. When we talk about intergenerational trauma, right? That's trauma that has to deal with the conversations that happen in our homes, the conversations that we bring up, that we grew up with, being African American. We heard those stories about the lynchings. We heard about what happened to our great grandmothers, right, in the South before they came to California. We heard about stories about, being water hosed down and strange fruit, and how the songs, affected, the movement, right? I could go on and on with that, but it's real. And because we have that history, because it shows up in our homes, it makes these traumas even more intense for us, right? And it's not just among people of color. We all have our traumas. We all have our historical injuries that still show up. And now all these images that we see now, they trigger us, they take us back, they take us to difficult places, emotional places. But we're in this together. We are going to, work hard together, hopefully as a community, to heal, to recover, to be nonviolent in our approaches, because we don't want any guilt or any shame as we move forward.